right, positive energy all the time. Good to see you all today. Hope you're having a great day. Hope everything's going well. Beautiful Mrs. Moore's in the building. Wes is in the building. Rep Your City, Rep Your City. More Powers in the building. Rusterman's in the building. Yes, indeed. Well, today I'm going to be talking about what's going on. Oh, yeah, I just put that together. I have to change up my intro sometime. Change it up. Make all new ones. So come on in. I'm going to talk about this situation and what's going on with Africa. A lot of my associates are leaving Africa, coming back to the U.S. Some are trying to think of other places to move. But they are leaving Africa. Yes, indeed. They are leaving Africa left and right. Left and right. So I'm going to talk about that. And I always keep my eye on Africa, what's going on. Africa's got a lot of natural resources. I have quite a few friends that have lived there. There's only one left that's still there. Everybody else left. So many of my friends left back in the 80s. So I then knew that it wasn't, feasible to live there. I don't see many people promoting moving there anymore either. That has died way down. Way down. Because people used to promote moving to Africa a lot, but so many moved and left that you don't see nobody promoting it anymore. So I'm going to talk about what's going on with that and why. I remember a time we thought we used to have hope for Africa. I don't have much hope for Africa anytime soon. For those of you in Chicago, they're going to bring back the Haile Selassie Fest. I'm not sure how that's going to be. I'm not sure if I'll be in town. I might be out of town. I would have liked to be in town. But yeah, the Selassie Fest is back July 25th. It's an outdoor festival. 62nd and Prairie. I'm not sure what's over there. It used to be a tradition. I think Tallis is back, might be back in Chicago from Jamaica. Shout out to my brethren Peter. Tallis Sound System. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure if I will be here. But if I'm here, I'm going to go check it out. I remember when it first started at Washington Park. We held it for many, many years. Live bands. Started with local live bands and it blew up to major reggae bands. It was the premier event in Chicago. All the Caribbean brothers and sisters will be there, and lots of foundational Black Americans would go. It was the best gathering in Chicago history thus far. Free to the public. It was really nice. Out at Washington Park, where Marcus Garvey spoke. Marcus Garvey spoke at Washington Park. So if you're in Chicago, check that out, July 25th. 6227 South Prairie. If I'm in town, I'm going to go check it out. My brethren Peter. And it'd be good to see Patrick. Patrick been down in Jamaica a long time, I think so. I guess Patrick is back. I need to call Peter and ask him. That's a good thing. So another one of my friends left Africa. I only got one person left, I think, that's over there. I think they're there. Another one of my friends left. Couldn't take it no more. The move to Africa interest is just gone. I guess you probably got some people maybe that live in little places that ain't really that exciting. Maybe they might want to go. But nobody in a nice city like Chicago is trying to move to Africa. That's for sure. That's a step backwards. But it used to be a time a lot of people were talking about moving to Africa. And over the time, people finally realized that Africa is not going to unite anytime soon. No time soon. The infrastructure is not that good. There are some places that somewhat developed, There's some places they got big cities, but it's a trick to that too. It's a big old step backwards. When I was coming up, a lot of my friends moved to Israel. They moved with the Hebrew Israelites with Ben Ami and them. So a lot of my friends moved to Israel. And a lot of my friends moved to Africa. Uh, Late 70s and 80s, they started coming back before they even got over there good. And for foundational Black Americans, they really never understood where they were going. They never studied the culture. Pan-Africanism doesn't study the actual culture of African people. Pan-Africanism is just an ideology. It's not based in any reality in terms of living in Africa. And a lot of them realized they thought they were leaving the European. They went to secondhand European. It was still European. It's just it goes through the African leaders first, into the Europeans, whereas here it just goes straight to Washington, D.C. Here's a big old mess. A lot of women I know went. They seen them bugs over there. They came. Can you believe that? I know a bunch of women, they left just because of the insects. The women don't like bugs. I was like, what did you think? Like, there was bugs everywhere. What the hell did you think? You're in Africa. I could have told you you can't live in no Africa if you don't like bugs. What are you, crazy? One of them said she got up one where was a scorpion in her bed. She said, that was it. I packed my bags. I had to go. I said, yeah. Then the men try to use the women. They found that out, that no man really like you. He's trying to use you for money. It's scam central for sure. You want to get scammed? Go to Africa. Because they thirsty. And it's trying to change now, but there's a whole bunch of immigrants because there's a bunch of African immigrants, there's a bunch of European immigrants, and that's just the black ones. And there's a whole bunch of Germans and Polish and French, a lot of whites in and out traveling, and a lot of Asians running business, Indians. They didn't expect to see all that. I remember my one buddy, I was about 15 years ago or something. He said, Fred, I moved to Africa. I can't wait to get to Africa. He said, I get set up, me and my queen, we get a little house. We go to buy our stuff for the house. It's all Chinese and Indians and Pakistanis. He said, Africans didn't have nothing. He said, I was ready to leave. He said, I had to buy my generator, all that stuff from these foreigners that control all of the business. He said, I was ready to go when I found out the Africans don't control nothing. I said, boy, I'm telling you. He said he's ready to go. Because he didn't want to get up people's money. He said he could have stayed here if that's the case. He had to go in this big old district where they get everything, where you get your, any type of electronic appliance you want, and it's all Asian, you know, and Indian. He couldn't believe it. And then the power kept going on. The power goes off. The power could go off at 8 at night. It might not come on till 2 in the morning. It might not come on till 10 the next morning. You just. And so now, like here in the United States, like Pan Africanism is like over with. You don't see it nowhere. When I was young, coming up in my young 20s, Pan Africanism was big here, LA. It's big. Not no more. And since that time, a lot of Africans came over here and made it worse because a lot of the foundational Black Americans, they do not like Africa. They don't really understand that like that. With a lot of foundational Black Americans have fatigue from white people. So whites in America, the racism just gets to be too much. So the racism gets to be too much. So they want to go. They thinking they're going home. Especially foundational Black Americans that don't live in a really black city like Chicago. If you live in any of these other cities, man, the racism is heavy. So they moved to Africa thinking they're going to get away. They're not really knowing where they're actually going, what it's like. They talk to people, you got cities there too. But my friend moved to Ghana and shoot, went to get an apartment and it was like you got to pay a whole year. You can't pay by the month. You got to pay a year's rent. That's crazy. And you never know who you're paying over there. The scams is through the roof. So you don't know if this is really this guy's property or not. It's not like the United States. It's a lot of scamming. A lot of scamming. I remember the elder Rosses used to tell us it ain't time to go. They would be like, no, Bridget, not time yet, not time yet. They was right. But the vibe is dried up over that. Dried up. It's changed so much now. Africa is trying to get out of Africa. I remember when I was young, black people were trying to go to Africa. Now Africa is trying to get out of Africa. They're trying to come here. They're trying to go to England. They're trying to go anywhere. They're trying to get the hell out of Africa. It just never worked out. The reasons for leaving Africa. Despite the initial surge of relocation, many black Americans ultimately choose to leave Africa and return to the West. Common challenges include cultural differences and assimilation, adjusting to local customs, languages, and societal norms. It's hard to deal with. It's really hard to deal with. They just go over there to understand that. Another thing is economic realities. Finding stable, high paying work can be difficult for expats, and adapting to developing local economies can be challenging. A lot of people have been trying to go over there and think they and try to live stream over there and make money. I see the one brother, he talks about Africa a lot, but every time you see him, he's bouncing from country to country to country to country, doing lives, making money over here. He's not a good salesperson. Uh, uh, if you're going over there and you got to use YouTube, then yeah, that's not a good sales pitch. And then I found out that if you are doing YouTube and stuff like that, there's some tax issues when you get American money over there. Yeah, you can't just get American money over there and not pay no taxes. It's a lot to it. And so economical realities and then infrastructure and bureaucracy, difficulties navigating unreliable utilities. Utilities are totally unreliable. Healthcare and immigration residency process. You know, you're trying to get your residency process, but you never know if you're dealing with the real person over there. The scams is through the roof. It's scam paradise. The women just get used for sex items, objects, and to take their money. So, like, I love you so much, and you go over there, and you know, you think you're in love with some African dude. He just robbing you blind. So a lot of women went over there thinking they found love. You know, got a African pen pal scamming them. You know, even here, I got a lot of female friends that I know two women that I know one, she married an African. As soon as he dated him, as soon as she married him, she woke up the next day, he was gone. Next time she seen him, he was back with his wife and his family. Unbelievable. They'd be over here scamming the women incredibly. It's like scam paradise. The scams is through the roof, and you got black Americans over there scamming black Americans because they know you don't know what's going on. They got to try to find a way to eat to make some money to live. So they scam their own and they jump around from country to country. So you'll meet a brother in Ghana, he'll scam you. You'll give him some money to do something, and then you can't find him because he'll be in Senegal maybe, or he'll be in the northern country of Ghana while you in the southern part like that. And you talk to a friend, and when they let him know you left, and they'll come back. Or sometimes he'll come back and you never know he's back. And they just be scamming, 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 scamming. All of that information is spreading, is making less people want to go. And then plus now, it's not like in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Black Americans is not identifying as Africans at all. They identify as foundational Black Americans. So Black Americans are not even identifying with Africa. But it's going to get way worse because look at South Africa. They chasing all the Ghanaians out, chasing all the Nigerians out, Senegalese, everybody got to get out. So now those countries are saying they got to get out. It's a big old mess over there. And then you got the wars everywhere popping off. They stop, they start, they stop, they stop. Then you got the one brother over there in the country. He pretending he doing something, but everything he got, the Chinese built it, and they think he's like a revolutionary. It's unbelievable. They think this man's a revolutionary. Everything he got, he getting it from them. They really run his whole country quietly and got him propped up there like an African Fidel Castro, robbing his ass blind. Yeah, they ain't got no consumer protection. You you get snaked over there, and then the police shake everybody down. Some black people say they just take money, be ready to pay the police. Yeah, the police shake you down, take all your money. Every time you drive, the police pull you over. Looked like you was going fast. He just wants you to slip him a $20 bill or something, and he let you go. Especially they know you got American money. You know what they can get for American money? There ain't no way I'm gonna live over there. The allure of Africa went away when a lot of black people found out they wasn't Africans and that they don't get along, and they from all different type of countries, and you can't even use the currency necessarily from this country to that country. But once they found out it really wasn't Africa and all the intricacies, they're like, oh, okay, this is a make believe dream. Yes, it is. Especially when people realize that the Pan Africans over here were a bunch of losers, because you really ain't gonna meet no, upward Pan Africans. They either gonna be losers or con men. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the one brother's over there told me he got a product he finna bring back. You can't trust him far as you can say him. And he kind of moved like an agent too. But I ain't gonna say no names. But you know what I'm saying? I don't trust dude. He like a police. You know what I'm saying? He's a Muslim, but he's not really that Muslimy. He's a little black power, but he's not really that. You can't put your finger, what nigga, what is you? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I seen that he had got blocked. I guess he came over here and I guess one of my subscribers blocked him, you know. I ain't worried about him. No, he ain't nobody. Yeah, you can't really trust him, you know what I mean? I know he don't like me. I ain't got nothing against him. Sometimes they be thinking they pop. I can push a button, he can't come here, you know. I can push that button. He can't even come here. Little do he know. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I came up as a Pan African and it was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a whole bunch of African. It was some brothers from Senegalese was here. Yeah, he's a real snaky dude. You know what I mean? Real slickster. And Pan Africanism was a big thing, but when that generation, my generation, and a couple of people younger, when it didn't work out, and then they came back, The young people, they don't want to identify with Africa no more. That's like they don't want to be African Americans. They're just not dealing with that at all. It just even the reggae just dwindled out. Uh, it's real crazy to see how it just dwindled out. I believe it dwindled out because I believe it dwindled out because I think because it was too continental, and then people thought it was continental, and they don't understand how big Africa is, and they thought the Africans was Africans, and now they're beginning to find out no, they're not Africans, bro. You know what I'm saying? The dude's Nigerian, bro. He's not African like what you think. You know what I'm saying? They don't, they don't know how big the place is. If I'm in Ghana, I ain't really identified with Africa. You know what I'm saying? Ghana big, so like how am I identified like with Tanzania? You know what I'm saying? And you know, black in America was just looking at the map, so that's what they thought it was like. Oh, and they don't really show you how big that map ain't showing you how big Africa really is. There's been many geologists and people in geography and stuff say that they shrinking that African map on the globe. No, it's way bigger than the way and America's way smaller. That's what experts are saying. Like that globe and them maps we looking at is not right. Africa big, and they don't want to show how big it is. It's super, super duper, super big. So that's what made people like thinking it was simple. Like, oh, I just no, bro, you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know. What the hell. When you got the equator down the middle and you got the north and the south, I don't even think they understand how many different complexions that is. And then with the colonization, how many languages that is. Because I know, we just too simple. We thought it was simple. We just, we Africa. You know what I mean? We like simplified it, and it's not. It's very diverse and huge. Cause I got friends from African countries, and they said they ain't seen hardly none of their country. I like, is you lying? They like, no, Pharaoh. I ain't seen hardly. I only seen a little bit as big, bro. I don't move around the country. I stay like in these little sections. He's like, man, I ain't seen the country. I said, are you serious? My one friend, he from Nigeria. He was like, bro, you can't drive through Nigeria like that. They'll kidnap you. I said, are you serious? He like, bro, when you get out there, you in the middle of nowhere. He was like, what do you tell me? He was like, these like terrorist groups that's funded, that they think is funded by the French or whatever, and they say they be up there cutting the power and stuff. They be cutting the power, and then when they go to try to turn the power off, they'll ambush them and all that. Because he was like, the power got to go a long way, Pharaoh. I'm like, are you kidding? He like, no. I said, damn. I was just gonna go to get me a wife. I was gonna get me a wife from over there. That's what I was gonna go, but it was just too hard. It was too difficult when I looked into it. It's like I was super revolutionary, so that's another reason I didn't go. So I was young, I was really saying some wild stuff and super revolutionary. Boy, I ain't going to take no shot. You know what I'm saying? I'ma still try to make the trip to Kevin, but one the main reason I didn't go GRI is the shots. I didn't trust the CIA wouldn't hit me with a Mickey. That's the main reason I didn't go. It had nothing to do with the people. It had nothing to do with nothing. The main reason I never went, cause I'm a revolutionary. I'm kind of chill now. In my younger days, and I was not, cause I always believed that when they see and they run my stuff, I'm supposed to get this shot, and they gonna give me. You know what I'm saying? When they find out it's me, they gonna give me this shot. You know what I'm saying? You right. That's why I didn't go. I didn't go because I was revolutionary. And, I think because the CIA, they be watching that kind of stuff. That's how Malcolm got messed up. Malcolm went over there. They tried to blame it on Elijah, but no. When Malcolm went over there and came back, they unalived him and the dude he was hanging with over there. They unalived dude like 5, 6, 7 days later. The revolutionary Malcolm. So I was like, if I go, I'm supposed to get this shot, and they know I'm talking all this black stuff, they gonna give me this shot. Hell no. So that's why I didn't go. I couldn't. I knew I couldn't go. Like you know what I'm saying? You can't let them people be shooting stuff up in you. A lot of y'all right now that went and got shots. You're gonna wish you didn't. So that's the main reason I didn't go. I wasn't gonna take that shot. I was talking too much revolutionary radical stuff. I'm not taking that shot. My mother worked for the federal government, so I know they know everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, luckily I don't need no shots no more like that. I don't need no shots. So I definitely got to go to Egypt and get me some jewelry. I would like to go. I would like to go and do some traveling over there. I want to go to. I'd like to go to South Africa, Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria, Kenya, Ethiopia. What's the name? They got the good herb down there by South Africa. I like to go down there. Egypt would give me some jewelry. I get along with people, so it'll be enjoyable. But I study so much. I watch so many documentaries, and I read so much, and I see so many films and stuff. I really know everything. It ain't like back in the day where you actually got to go. If you watch the right stuff, now people there with cameras now showing you, look, so you can see the world right now without ever going. You can see everything now without going. But I just want to talk about this because the way Pan-Africanism is just crazy. It's gone. Like the young black people, they ain't on that at all. Even the young blacks that want to go to Africa, they're not going with a Pan-African concept. Pan-Africanism just died out. It's gone. You don't see it nowhere. That's what I wanted to talk about. It's like it don't exist. It's crazy. It's gone. That's crazy. It's deep, boy. Because it was big in the 80s, the 90s. 20 years is all it lasted. By the time you got to the 2000s, it was gone. It was leaving. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. It would be nice if we had some big exchange programs and stuff like that, but it's too many Chinese taking over and stuff. Yeah, it proved to not be beneficial. And the main thing that happened was, right, the main thing that happened was people was looking at the map. So they was just saying Africa. And now with more education they realize, no, it's not that simple. This place is really big and there's really no such place as Africa and there's no such people as Africans. And that's what changed mostly. People thought it was Africa and thought it was Africans. And now people realize, oh no, there's really no such place as Africa. There's really no such people as Africans. There's no country called Africa. You know what I'm saying? And so once people realize that, that changed and how big it is, that changed everything. Especially when people found out how many foreigners dominate the continent. As soon as you really see who dominates North Africa and see all them funny looking people up there with them big armies, then any revolutionary mentality got to go. Because the whole northern Africa is dominated by foreigners. And so from that point of view, as a Pan-African, Africa looks weak. You see what I'm saying? Because how you let these people control Egypt, which is your headquarters. These people control Egypt, Libya, all them countries across the top. So at that point, that's definitely going to change the mindset of any type of militant or revolutionary because you're like, oh, okay, they oppress, they don't run nothing. So that right there changed the whole way you look at, because they oppress. So you don't really want to go. I mean, I don't think a lot of Africans realize they oppressed. But if you got any type of militancy, you can see it clear as day. Look, Egypt, Libya, Algeria. The day it really hit me, I was going to do a live stream about military or something. So I was looking up everybody's military, right? And that's when I said, because I couldn't find a strong black military. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? When I looked at everybody's military, all the black places military, it was like F troop. It was like some backwoods. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to do a live, and I wanted to find some strong, you know, black military to show in my live, and it didn't exist. They ain't got none on my soul. All the big militaries that really looked like they could get out was up there in North Africa. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That's when I said, oh damn, they can't even defend themselves. You know what I mean? Them people on top of Africa could do them dirty, man. That's when I was like, oh, the black Africans, it's done. I couldn't even find, like, I had to struggle to find like pictures of a strong black army. It was hard because all the really strong armies was up north. So I said, oh, they weak. The blacks ain't nothing. See, this Algeria. Look at their military. Them blacks ain't got no military like that. I'm telling you. Again, the foreign looking people. Look at the Egyptian military. The whole Africa can't beat Egypt and Algeria. Look at Egypt's military. Look at all them tanks. Them black Africans ain't got no tanks like that. The Arabs got all the oil and the number one, the most weapons. Them black ones ain't got nothing. On my soul. They ain't shit in their own land. They ain't got no army like that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at them Egyptians. Look at that. The black ones ain't got that. The Ethiopians got a decent army, but they landlocked. That's when I was doing a lot. That was some years ago too. That's when I said, oh man. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, they don't even run nothing on their own continent. That's when I was like, oh, hell no. They ain't got nothing. Look at the Egyptian army. The black Africans will get decimated. They don't got nothing. They got some soldiers in Ethiopia and stuff, but they ain't got this. They let them people control the oil, so they got more money. They let them punk them. They took the money. Look at all them tanks. Look at all them tanks. They let them people punk them and take the oil. They let them people punk them and take the most valuable land. You know what I'm saying? Because if you control Egypt, hell, You right there where the whole gateway. Why you think the black Egyptians ancient was so powerful? They let the foreigners go and take the capital of Africa, which is Egypt, and now Egypt ain't even black no more, and let them dig up all their ancestors. I'm like, damn. So that's when I got kind of, I was like, oh, okay. Look, that's when I started, I became, I was disenchanted with Africa because they can't, they ain't even got the best army on their own continent. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, hell no. They just ain't got it. They shouldn't have never let them people take Egypt. I mean, at least they still got Kenya and Ethiopia, but you can't do nothing if you ain't right there on the Nile, right there where the other countries is, where Israel is at. You can't. That's the most strategic point. You know, the most strategic 2 points in Africa is South Africa and Egypt. No, the people that was Pan Africans did no shit. I went and did my own research. Pan Africans was just talking. They wasn't doing no research or nothing like that. I'm the first one really do that. Nobody before me looked into stuff like that. Before me, it was all just talk and dreams. They wasn't, you know what I'm saying? All my OGs and stuff, they was just talkers and dreamers. They wasn't really real military tacticians like me. They didn't really look at nothing like that. They came up with most talking books, you know, but they wasn't really. It was mostly talk. That's why I'm not so revolutionary talking no more. Because when I came up as a shorty, I was I was the only one. The OGs was telling me to calm down, so I let it go. I said, "Oh, this is fraudulent." They wasn't really no real revolutionaries. They was talkers. They weren't really about that life. They wasn't really. They were just talking. They wasn't really built like that. So that's why when I hear when brothers younger than me come and try to get me to do something that I know already whack and I already seen them because they just like the older ones. All these young brothers that they ain't shit. They just like they still keeping that same tradition that I didn't like. They following that old head pro black dudes wasn't on nothing. They wasn't real military tacticians. They was talking ideology. They just had they were ideologists, just talking. It's how they, so now they got that back. You know, they let that come back. That's why I don't be bothered with it. Them dudes just be talking. They let that come back. That's the Sarasun settings of now. They they ain't gonna do shit. There ain't no real revolutionaries or nothing like that. Black power is not revolutionary. It's just talk. So they bought, you know what I'm saying? And that's when all the bros start popping up RBG and all that. You see, they all disappear. You see that they ain't standing on nothing. They had to start talking history. You see, revolutionary talk about history. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't even got cars. So you know they ain't going to never have no tanks, no jets. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna never have tanks, jets, aircraft carriers, and shit like that. They don't even want to get an automobile. When I talk about starting factories and getting our own cars, they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about peace and black power, and then go out there and get in somebody else's car. And can't beat the GDs. Shit. I'm safer with the gangs than I am with the black power. That's why I fuck with the gangs. I'm safer with the gangs. I got more military. I got more military power with the gangs than with the black power dudes. If like I really got into it with somebody that had like a group or something, I get the gangs. I wouldn't get the black power. Facts. I can make a phone call, said he be gone. That's a fact. One phone call, he out of there. I wouldn't do that because that's my brother. Don't get me wrong, that's my brother. I don't hate dude. He just need to shut the fuck up, salute me or shoot me. I'm the commanding officer. That's how my beef is with him. He got to stay in his place. He's supposed to know rank and file. You know what I'm saying? He not built like that. He a little boy. He was in school. He was like a schoolboy. He took trips to Egypt and had Dr. Ben all down on his tonsils. I ain't really fuck with Dr. Ben like that because he was a pork eater. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fuck Dr. Ben. Nobody want to listen to no pork eating story. You know what I'm saying? Big Pharaoh was rough. Little Pharaoh was rough. You know what I'm saying? I threw Dr. Ben in the trash when I was a baby. For everything I love. You know what I'm saying? I would have told him, shut up and go get a book. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do with that book? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Better sit your ass down and read, boy. We really stomping on shit. I mean, we got rank and file and we got commands and shit. We got rank and file, weapons, shooters, soldiers, the whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna ride just because we're gonna ride with the guys. If you GD, the GD's gonna ride unless y'all beefing. Unless y'all beefing. Some of the brothers is beefing right now. There's been some shit going on. It's been some crazy stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? In the city. It's been crazy. In the city. Yeah, it's been crazy in the city. Y'all seen 12 people got shot over there on 95th Street. Yeah, 12 people. 12 people got shot at the Juneteenth celebration. Only in Chicago. I'm like, come on, man. It ain't funny, but I got it's not funny. But come on, what that sound like? You know what I'm saying? I know it's not funny. I know it's not funny, but what that sound like? 12 people got shot at the Juneteenth celebration. Black communities don't know no Dr. Ben, fool. These niggas don't know no Dr. Ben. They don't know you either. You a buster too. Nobody know you or Dr. Ben. The black community don't know no damn Dr. Ben. Just a handful of weirdos like you. Don't nobody know no damn Dr. Ben. Nobody even know dude. When I used to go to his lectures, there wasn't nobody there but 20 people, 30 people. Nobody know no damn Dr. Ben. He wasn't no damn body. I'm not trying to be held in. I ain't trying to be held in high regard. I ain't famous or none of that shit. You sound like a fool. Listen, let me tell you something. You always following me all on my nuts, right? So who gonna listen to you when you're a follower? You know what I'm saying? You don't even got the decency enough to go on with your life. So who the hell would listen to you? Come on. You got no dignity. I don't like you. I be trashing you, and you keep coming back. You got no internet presence. You got no movement. You're probably the CIA or FBI. And you talking about the black community. What black community? Don't nobody in Chicago know Dr. B. Nobody. Or city. Nobody knows them. Dr. Henry Clark is gone, bro. Nobody knows him either. Nobody knows Dr. Henry Clark. Nobody gives a fuck about dude. Them dudes is dinosaurs. The young generation don't know shit about them. That's just a fact. Anyway, come back tomorrow. I'll unblock you later. You could come back, okay? I'll unblock you later. Come back so they show you some more commercials so I can make some money. Nobody knows them dudes. It's fact. As a matter of fact, when I went to see him, nobody knew him. Dr. Ben was only known by a handful of people that used to go on them tours of Egypt, and that was a racket to make money. Get with him, buy his books, pay money, go to see Egypt. Nobody know dude. Nobody knows Henry Clark. Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, numbers, nobody's. Nobody knows them. It's a fact. I wouldn't say that if it was true. Nobody knows that. That information never got passed down. That information that people was gathering in the 90s, well, really, Dr. Ben and them is late 70s, 80s. Then they went to internet. And everything that they brought to the table all went in the trash. Nobody passed it down. That whole little thing got washed away. That whole little like black movement of studies and stuff, all that shit went in the trash. By the time you got to the 90s, there was nobody. Now people start putting up their little videos like Sadnetta. Nobody knows Sadnetta. Sadnetta is nothing in real life, like in black world. Look, I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying the facts. Nobody know them people, man. The conscious community didn't do no real good job spreading nothing like that. Look, there's 800,000 hold on. There's 800,000 black Americans in Chicago. How many of you think No, Dr. B. At 800,000. Don't nobody know Bobby Hemmett with all that witchcraft and bullshit he was talking. I ain't even listen to that motherfucker. We're going Kujalandi, Landi, you know. Nobody listen to that nut. It's 800,000. Man, do y'all realize it's 2026? Y'all really think that information got spread to the community like that? They don't listen to no shit like that. It's 67 people watching me. They don't listen to me. They not listening to that. They watching rap shit and gossip. They not watching me. They don't watch nothing like this. They're watching gossip. They got the radio on the black radio station. They trying to go to a concert. They trying to go on the boat cruise. They trying to go gamble, shit like that. If you really be around black people, the black people ain't listening to none of that. You get on this internet and believe this is the real world. This is not the real world. Black people ain't listening to that. Don't know none of them. None of them. They'll be like, who? They know 50 Cent. they know 50 Cent. They know these TV shows, whoever's on these TV shows. Whichever the women on the TV shows, all the women know who they are. They know their favorite newsman. The brothers, the black man, all he know is sports. So all he know is who the new quarterback on the team, who playing for the Knicks and shit like that in the real world. Now, if we gonna do the fake world, we can do the fake world. But in the real world, nah, black people don't know none of that shit. They came out before the internet, so there's just footage of them that people would show, but they wasn't popular when they was out here because there wasn't no internet. And the only way you could see Dr. Ben on one of them, you had to go happen to be up at the college, get a flyer, catch them on the college campus. It wasn't like they on NBC and ABC and CBS for everybody know to go see them. Nobody, you had to be in a small group to even know where any cultural event was at. Yeah, you had to. Yeah, the only reason I seen Dr. Ben because I was down by the college and it'll be up at the on the Black Student Union. When I went to see Dr. Ben, there was probably 35 people there. There wasn't nobody there. The only person that would get a pretty big crowd was Dick Gregory, but that's because he was on major TV. He was on Ed Sullivan and shit like that. Now Dick Gregory would get big halls full. Ain't nobody went to see no goddamn Dr. Ben but me and a handful of cultural people. Nobody was in there. You knew about him because of his books, but by then he was old and dying. I'm talking about when he was out here. When he was out here selling his books. I bought his books from him. Nobody knew who the fuck he was like that. Just a handful of people. Nobody knew nothing about that kind of stuff. I bought the African origin of the three major Western religions. Black man of the Nile bought it from him. Nobody knew nothing about them. The only people would get big crowds was Farrakhan would get a big crowd. Farrakhan got the biggest crowds. Then Dick Gregory. But the mother dude, and Bobby Hemmett was absolutely a nobody. I don't even think he came to Chicago. He was just up on the East Coast battling. He's a nobody. You just see him on video. He would go back and look at his video and tell me how many people they're watching. And I rest my case. Go watch Bobby Hemmett and see the 25 people in there listening to that bullshit he was talking. I never liked him. Remember he didn't take care of himself, then he got sick because he didn't eat right? Then he went and tried to go vegan and shit. But he was talking about vegan. Vegan don't make no sense of vegan. Then he got sick. Then he went vegan. And it didn't work. I know y'all don't know. I know. But just so you know who you're talking to. Yeah, Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett used to trash us that was trying to eat right. And then his funky ass got sick. Yeah, Dr. Ben, I ain't like dude. Yeah, Dr. Ben was a bullshit ass nigga. I ain't like Dr. Ben. I was like 20. I ain't like him. Yeah, I ain't like his ass. He was full of shit. He was at the University of Chicago, right down 50, 53rd, 55th over there. Yeah, I ain't like that motherfucker. He wasn't shit. Hey, on my soul. So we went to see Dr. Ben, right, at the university. So the brothers and sisters came out, the Hebrew Israelites, they came out and they prepared food, right? So Dr. Ben did the first half of his lecture, right? Then he went in the back and took a break. So the brothers and sisters, are the kinds they are, they bought healthy food for us to eat, right? So everybody eating the food and stuff, right? So Dr. Ben come back out. You know what he say? What is that? Vegan food. Vegan food. What is vegan food? He said, I eat pork. I eat pork. That's what he said. It's like, bruh, are you serious? Now y'all think that was necessary for him to trash our food when he was old and washed up, and we were some young people or something new, and we supporting you, and you're gonna come out and trash your brothers and sisters from Soul Vegan, from Soul Vegetarian, that come to bring some food for us so we can eat healthy. And you're gonna bring your stinking black ass out here. Nigga, shut up. You a historian. You ain't no motherfucking doctor. So that's why I don't like that motherfucker. No, I ain't like his ass. I ain't like him. After that, I ain't like him. I said, bro, stay in your lane. If you're a historian, speak on history. Don't be speaking on how to eat. Don't nobody want to hear that stupid shit, bro. You don't know what the hell you talking about. Nobody want to hear that. What's your name? Lon Wind did? Bro, shut up. You don't even got a real name. I don't be listening to. Yeah, it was disrespectful. And then he would stand stuff like this. Those sisters out there, Dr. Ben, here go Dr. Ben. Heaven is between the black woman's legs. This type shit he was saying. That's what he said. I'm flirting with the women out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at her. I'm a baby. I'm probably about 20. You know what I'm saying? I'm little Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was a little revolutionary. And when I was that, see these dudes over here talking crazy, I would have did them back then. They couldn't even, y'all busters over here talking to me, you couldn't even get with me back then. You couldn't even get with little Pharaoh. Yeah, little Pharaoh would have washed you up and rinsed you, put you in the rinse cycle on my soul. That was probably this Pharaoh right here. Yeah, y'all dudes over here talk. Y'all couldn't even get with this Pharaoh. I would have washed you. I would have washed you and put you in the cycle. A lot of you niggas is older than me couldn't even get with that one. He would have did you. Wow, boy, listen. You ain't on nothing. Where was you? You wasn't even here. This the one that went to see Dr. Ben. It might have been a year earlier somewhere, but that's basically him. Do he look like he going for some bullshit? He look like he want to hear. One thing I learned. If you're writing exact, I'm going to roll with you. But if you're out of pocket, you're out of pocket. And that's just how I was rolling. And that kind of made me who I is, because that's how I am, because I've seen a lot of people that call themselves teachers, call themselves this and that, call themselves ministers. It was a whole lot of holes in their game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dr. Ben was a clown. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a master, to be a master at knowledge, it's like knowledge is like a circle, right? So to be a master at knowledge, there's points in the circle. So there's history, right? That's one of the points, right? There's politics, right? There's health. So now when you get around the master, we checking every point. Okay, you got the history down, but you're a pork eater. Okay, sit down. You understand? You have to cover the whole 360. I'm the first generation that brought that to the table. No longer can you lean heavy on one aspect of the knowledge. You have to be rounded in all the knowledge. You can't be over here talking no black consciousness, but you got black people eating salt, high blood pressure. They're going to pass away before they even get to Africa. And so if you ain't standing on all the different points of the knowledge, you out of here. And that's my generation that brought that to the table. And so if I go see Dick Gregory and he writing exact, and I go see Dr. Ben and he talking against what Dick Gregory talking, then Dr. Ben get demoted. Because he ain't the only scholar. That Dick Gregory's a scholar too. And according to Dick Gregory, you talking about you eat pork, you a loser. Period. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So you go and you see all the different master teachers in different forms of the knowledge. But some of these brothers, they think they can put red, black, and green on Talk Africa, and they think that's it. But that's not it. What's up with your leadership skills? What you feeding your baby? Because if you're over here talking all this African stuff, I come to your house, you got artificial flavors, artificial color preservatives in your house. Shut up. Where's you, a Pan-African with cancer? What good is that? I just want to explain that so y'all won't think I just be trashing Dr. Ben for nothing. No, he ain't the only scholar, and that's not the only knowledge. And so if you want to get knowledge, you got to get all of it, all the different forms of the knowledge. You can't just be no Pan-African and think that's going to get it. Because being a Pan-African ain't going to help with agriculture. Can you grow some goddamn food? What about Pan-Africanism going to show you how to grow food? What about Pan-Africanism going to teach you how to eat right? Look in Africa right now. They got obesity problem from South Africa all the way to the top. right? So that punk that keep coming over here talking about Africa, he don't never be talking about these, and he ain't standing on nothing. Look, South Africa faces a severe obesity crisis, with approximately half of its adult population and nearly 23% of the children under 18 classified as overweight or obese. This epidemic drives major public health challenges, and obesity related non communicable diseases have now surpassed HIV as the leading cause of death in the country. So now, what good is it to go back to Africa if you're going to go over there and feed them that? Am I right or am I wrong? So you're going to go back to Africa, but can you get that weight off of them people? They in Africa and unaliving themselves with bad food. So just because you come over here with some Pan-African pictures and stuff don't mean nothing. And then, is you a revolutionary? Is you about that smoke, though? That's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? You come over here, the brother come over here, he got his Pan-Africanisms and all that, his little pictures, but is he war ready, though? And I'm 68. Y'all believe that dude with them African pictures can come on the streets of Chicago today and deal with me and meet me somewhere? No, he cannot. Because he ain't got no military. He not militant. I'm trying to say this in a nice way. He not that. You just talk in Africa. But you go to Africa, you'll run. They'll chase you down the street butt naked. You ain't really built like that. Just stick to African maps and shit. I'm just saying. You ain't built like that. How many soldiers can you get together by tomorrow? Since you're a Pan-African. Can you get 200 dudes by tomorrow? Can you get 200 men? No. It's just you, maybe your cousin. So what you gonna go to Africa with? Just you? You don't got no leadership skills. You ain't got no medical skills. You ain't got no health knowledge. You can't control no military because you soft. You ain't even masculine because ain't no masculine man gonna keep following somebody that don't like them. So right then, the one brother be coming over talking about Africa, I wouldn't follow you around the corner. You soft. You don't even got no backbone. You keep following the man that don't like you like that, talking about Africa. Boy, get you some backbone. Following me and trolling me, talk about Africa with that soft type of behavior. Boy, you should be ashamed of yourself. I know goddamn well you don't want to meet me. You ain't built like that. Y'all see me following somebody don't like me and trolling and being a girl all in somebody comment. Boy, you ain't see me in nobody comment. Who gonna follow you to Africa, you like a girl in the comments? Y'all gotta man up. If you're going, that's why Pan-Africanism fell off. Pan-Africanism fell off because you don't have the elements to go to no Africa. They need a whole new dietary plan. They need medical. They need agriculture. They need military. They just don't need your weak ass just over there taking up more space. Facts. The Arabs control Egypt, so I don't know why you talking about Kemet. You don't run it. That dude y'all like that Ibrahim dude, everything he getting from the Russians, he ain't nobody. Y'all keep talking about that dude. That dude as a punk. He ain't nobody. I don't like dude. Dude is a nobody. He's a fake revolutionary leader. Look, what that look like? Who's the boss and who the puppet in this picture? Who got the power in this picture? I'm just saying. In this picture, who got the power? Not the brother. He don't got a pea shooter. He ain't got no tanks. He ain't got no military equipment or nothing like that. Whatever. That's why I be getting in trouble. Y'all see why I be getting in trouble. He don't run nothing down there in Burkina. He ain't nobody. He playing costume. This who run down there. Yeah, this Burkina right here. This Burkina right there. This who run it. Hey man, it's time for me to go. I'm gonna be done told y'all too much. This Burkina. This Africa's a Burkina. Down there with them dresses and them goddamn slippers on. What kind of revolutionary got sandals on and dresses? Look, they couldn't beat my kids. Look at the one all the way to the right. Look at his stomach under that dress. Look at the one all the way on your right. Look at that stomach under that long dress he got on. He looked like he a soldier. He looked like he could fight. These dudes can't beat the kindergarten class. Essential knowledge. His books ain't no essential knowledge. Them books ain't worth two goddamn cents. There's nothing you can do from reading them books. Ain't nothing you can do from studying Egypt. It's not gonna help you goddamn none. Ain't gonna help you none. You want to make it, you need to know how to make clothes. You need to know how to build homes. You need to know how to catch water or irrigate water. You need to know how to grow food. You need to be able to know how to grow indoors. You got to eat. Reading about goddamn it, Egypt ain't going to do a goddamn thing for you. Now, I studied under Sunrise. Last time I seen Sunrise, he was in a motherfucking wheelchair. This big pharaoh. I was a baby. I went out with Sunrise, and we went to eat. And he ordered his food out of my food, and I stood to Sunrise and said, "Why you eating that meat?" And this the master teacher. I said, "Why you eat that meat?" And he never ate meat around me no more. But he wasn't in no good shape. He was overweight up under all them clothes, all them magical clothes. What do you want me to tell you? You think I'll let somebody tell me how to eat? I'm finna go, but let me tell y'all something. If a teacher slips step on them. Step on them. Period. If they slip in any of the arts of knowledge, step on them. Do not hold up no teacher that ain't got their game all the way tight. He's all right. Do not hold up no teachers that ain't got their game worshiping these people. Because if you worship somebody who ain't got their game together, you ain't going to get your game together. This is why when you come up, you're supposed to have various teachers in various fields. So not one of them is not going to be over the other one. You understand? So Sunrise not over Dick Gregory in no shape or form. Sunrise in Sunrise lane, Dick Gregory in Dick Gregory lane. Sunrise can't tell me shit about nutrition, how to eat, or nothing. I'm going to just keep it a billion. And so you got to have various scholars in various lanes. You don't take no person in one lane and put them up. You don't take no person in one lane and put them up like that, because especially foundational Black Americans, we've been under slavery. So we don't got none of our shit ain't together. We don't have none of the arts together or nothing together. Nothing. We are absolutely at the bottom. We're not manufacturing, we're not building homes. We're not making no transportation. We don't have no way we're supposed to eat. Nothing. When you go to high school and college, you ain't in grade school no more. When you go to high school and college, when you go to high school, you go to algebra class. The English teacher don't teach you algebra. The algebra teacher don't teach you physical science or biology. Am I lying? You have to go to masters of these different subjects. And that's just how life is. Tell me you didn't do that in high school. In high school, right? How you get in shape? The gym teacher get you in shape, teach you physical education. The math teacher don't make sure you got muscles, don't make sure you can move your body. Okay, if you're real good at math, but you weigh 350 pounds, what good is it? If you go to science, but you don't know no math, how you gonna know what 1/4 is 2/3 for the test tubes? If you don't go to English, you can't communicate. How you gonna tell me anything about math? How you gonna tell me what you learned in science? You can't even talk. So you got to go to all the different masters. Like a circle, it's always a circle. Look at your hand. You ain't got one goddamn finger. You got 10 fingers. This is sunrise. That ain't gonna get it. What I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to pick this up like this? How I'm supposed to open it? How I open this? This is sunrise. How can I open this? What do you want me to tell you? And then when you do that, nobody like you. Nobody's gonna like you, because most people you're gonna get around ain't gonna have what we call they shit together. So now you're not liked. You're too judgmental. It's like when I seen Sarah Soon said he talking all that revolutionary shit, and he was making some lunch meat on a George Foreman drill on Instagram in front of black people, calling himself a general leading black people, and showing black people himself eating some lunch meat in a George Foreman grill. And that's when I ripped some of his stripes out. He ain't no goddamn general. He's a private. How the hell you were the general? One of the main things in the military is the food. You do know that, right? They have to make sure that the military don't get sick. If they cook a bad bunch of food and everybody gets sick and the enemy attack, who gonna fight? If the whole platoon, say I got a platoon of 10,000 men, if they all get diarrhea, how they gonna fight? If they all get some kind of poison and be sick and I'll be in the bed if somebody attack, how we gonna win the war? Do you know they go through a lot for the sanitation and the food in the military, in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marine? You know the food is a major part. You do know that, right? They have to really take care of that food. Seriously. Little do they tell you, that's number one, is that food. If you fight another enemy and you on a mountain and they down there and your water get poisoned, they just wait till you pass away. They wait till you get die of thirst and then they just attack you. Hold on, let's take a break. If I'm number one and I don't got no soldiers trying to surpass me, and I lead everybody, and then I pass away, what's going to happen to the people? What's going to happen to people if everybody stay behind me and nobody ain't trying to go past me and update my stuff? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to the people? So y'all ain't try to outdo your daddy? You ain't try to outdo your mama? They better than you and they not here? Make it make some sense. So you worship your daddy so much that he better than you? You worship your mama so much she better than you? Oh, so your kids got a less virgin? Then your kids should be with your mama and daddy then if you ain't shit. You're supposed to be trying to surpass the scholars. You ain't supposed to be on their nut sacks and on their clit like that. Hell no. Every generation we get limited knowledge. It takes time to get all the knowledge. So the next generation got to update the knowledge. They can't be no Flintstones. What I look like talking about what Bobby Hemmett said. Bobby Hemmett might have been advanced for then, but he ain't advanced now. He behind now. Dr. Ben was advanced then when I seen him in the late 70s, but he ain't that now. That shit he talking irrelevant now. Listen, history is bullshit. History was something that was only necessary because we didn't know it. Once we learn some of it, we got to move on because you can't do nothing with history. History is trash unless it's the history of some type of way to grow food or history of agriculture or history of military. It's worthless. Knowing so-and-so was here and so-and-so was there, in reality, it's trash. It's useless knowledge. All that stuff I read in The Black Man of the Nile and all that shit's worthless. It only served a purpose to fulfill that empty spot we had because through slavery and stuff, we didn't have no knowledge of ourselves. But once we get the basic knowledge of ourselves, then what? You're going to keep getting knowledge and you know who the fuck you is. Now what? How long you going to do that? And this is when you really going to see. Y'all going to have to decide what knowledge is valuable and what knowledge already served its purpose and it's time to throw it in the garbage. And for the most part, history is trash. History was only valuable to those that didn't know nothing about themselves. But now we know about ourselves. History, what good is history? History is the worst class. It ain't going to feed you. It ain't going to protect you unless it's the history of war. Unless it's the history is only good if you're a farmer. The history of farming is good. You understand? You got to put it in perspective. So, yeah, if you're a farmer, the history of farming, oh, when this happened, they did this to get past the drought. In case a drought come, you know what they did in the past to beat the drought. Okay, cool. But just who said what and who was here then and that, is that valuable? Anybody could tell you that when you have kids, the most valuable history from your parents is what they used to get a baby when the baby was sick, what they used to get a baby when the baby was teething, stuff like that. That's the stuff grandma and grandpa and them gave you that's valuable. But if you can't implement it, it was all right you learned it at that time, but it's not valuable moving forward. It's just not. I had to find out, and I'm telling you what I know. I had all them books. I don't care. I had books and books and books. Ancient India, Egypt, all that. It's not really of any value. When you look at Black Americans, you need to be finding out what you're supposed to eat and what you're supposed to be drinking and how you're going to get some food. Because having a big old stomach on you, eating artificial flavors, artificial colors, preservatives and shit, and reading a bunch of bullshit about Africa, that ain't going to get it. Because the Africans is sick. Go look it up. Go look up cancer epidemic in Africa. Go look up diabetes, overweight in Africa. Blacks in Africa are sick as a dog. Look it up. Matter of fact, I'll help you. I already showed you. I already showed you the obesity. I'll help you because say y'all might think I'm just talking. Obesity, a crisis, not just in South Africa, all over. Right now, watch this. Watch this. I asked, is cancer a big problem in Africa? Just for the punk come over here and keep talking about Africa, interrupted me. I'm trying to help people eat better and all that. Look, yes, cancer is a massive and rapidly growing health crisis in Africa. Experts estimate over 1 million new cases and hundreds of thousands deaths occur on the continent annually because of late detection and limited treatment access. Cancer is roughly twice as lethal in Africa as it is in the United States. Women, breast cancer, cervical cancer are the most common. Men, prostate cancer, liver cancer. I got a lame over here posting about Africa. And I guarantee you, his refrigerator in his cabinet is full of cancerous food. He can't do a goddamn thing for Africa but make them sick. And who gonna follow a punk to Africa that's trolling another brother like a little girl? Why would I follow you to Africa? You ain't even no soldier. Who gonna follow you to Africa when your breath smell like my underwear? Well, you all on my nizzles or whistles. Punk, nobody following you to no damn Africa. You ain't even built like that. Who gonna follow an African troll with a fake name, a ugly description of Africa? You ain't presenting it decent or nothing. You won't even get a good picture of the continent. You won't ever come over and add nothing to the day. Just a bozo. The people in Africa sick as a dog, and over there under the Chinese and the Russians and the Americans and the French run everything they doing. That's a fact. So you want me to take black Americans over there and be up under the Russians, the French, and everybody? We find if we gonna be under one, let's just be under one. We under the United States. I wouldn't take y'all over there and y'all be up under all that, all them different various people and be right there in time for Armageddon, because that's where Armageddon gonna take a place at. Africa, you do not want to be in Africa. Africa is where everybody gonna be fighting over the natural resources. Why would you want to be there in the war zone? And all these weirdos be telling y'all to go to Africa ain't got a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of, and ain't got a BB gun or a slingshot. Talking about going to Africa. The punk can't beat the Crips if he want to go to Africa. I always tell you to go to Africa butt naked with no self-defense or nothing. Let that sink in. You don't even have enough self-defense over here. At least you got some. Don't y'all be listening to nobody telling y'all to go to no goddamn Africa. Don't never go nowhere where you meet too many people from. What I just say? Don't go nowhere. What my daddy taught me. If you meet a lot of people from a place, why would you go? They left. It's too many Africans over here. Why would I go to Africa? If Africa was sweet, you think all these Africans would be over here? Huh? You think Minneapolis and Minnesota would be overran with Africans? If Africa was cool? If Africa was decent, there wouldn't be an African over here nowhere. They all leave the next day. Well, you know what I'm saying? Facts. It's like when I was young, I'm over here and Selassie over here telling me in Chicago, about Jamaica nice, man. Jamaica sweet. Rama says Jamaica sweet, man. In Chicago. I look at them like this. All right. Bye. You know what I'm saying? So I look at them. So when you going back? Huh? Call me. Call me when you get back to Jamaica. Right? Yeah, call me. Oh, you ain't going no time soon? I see you the next year, you still here. Jamaica sweet, 3 years. Jamaica nice, 7 years. Jamaica everything, man. But you on Stony Island, you on Cottage Grove, you on Austin Street in Chicago, talking about Jamaica sweet, man. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But we ain't going no goddamn Africa. We ain't gonna, man, them Jamaicans out there fighting over KFC. Shit. Talking about Jamaica. Jamaicans down there fighting over Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know what I'm saying? Why would I go all the way to Jamaica for Kentucky Fried Chicken? Look, they're going crazy for the Kentucky Fried Chicken with the white dude on the box. Look, they want American food, but they want to tell you Jamaica nice, but they want Kentucky Fried Chicken. Look, 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 look. That's KFC, Trinidad or Jamaica. I'm just showing you. But people that come here and look at us crazy and talk crazy to us, but the whole time they want everything we doing. You want some plantains, they want some KFC. They'll give you all the plantains in the world if you give them a bucket of chicken. they'll give you, if you go down there, make sure you take plantain down there. They'll trade you a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Take some buckets of chicken, and they're going to give you all the plantains you want. Just take them from KFC. Man, listen. Let me tell y'all something. On my soul, stop listening to these people, man. Same thing in Africa. You want to go to Africa. You want to go to Africa. You know what they want in Africa? On my soul. On my soul. You want to go to Africa because Africa's super black. So you want to go to Africa. But guess what Africa wants? Africa wants some KFC, boy. Yeah, you really think you going for some culture? You going that way, and they trying to come this way. You understand? Colonel Sanders is a hero. Now, he a superhero. Official wingman of the Comic Con in Africa. Look, in Africa. Don't you know all the black people in the world is behind us? We in the front. Don't y'all realize that foundational black Americans is in the front? We was sent through the ringer washer early. Okay? We was conquered over here, separated from everybody, and we was shown all of this stuff early. Now as they expand in the world, the other blacks is behind us. They behind us. When you see the jealousy, it's because they want KFC. And you been had it and they mad. So all that talking down on you. But look.
I been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. When them finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. When them finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. Locks out like Shaq, I box out any snakes in the can trying to pop out. Don't drop out or cop out, get a drop now. Locks blowing in the wind with the top down. I'm fly, dude, you can't do what I do. Frosty and flashy with the heart of a sadu. Living God true with hair like wool. Past the Charlie Tool and cool and make me get a pool. Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. When them finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. When them finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor.
Yeah, Doghouse Rasta, where my Rasta at? Where the dogs at? It's rough out on the streets of the shop. You better watch your back, boy, you're bound to die. Spitting out the sky, gon' falling out your eye. Black people, you can make it if you try. You caught slipping, then you're gon' get killed. Tell you these niggas in the shy is ill. They don't call it ill, stay here for nothing. These niggas out here don't be huffing and bluffing. Naya Bingy mean death to oppressor. I got a Tech 9 and the Glock on the dresser. It's funny to me cause I oppress oppressor. If you's a weak card, boy, me I'll test ya. What you know about the third couch roster? I'm not a slave cause I'm about to be the master. Folk corner hustler, nigga use a buster. Come get this shit cause I know you as a customer.
Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. When them finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor. Naya been there unite with gangsta. In my city it's Naya Benga. When them finger make a fire blaze, yo. You in danger, I'm a stepping razor.